Hole number 1. Like many of the holes at MVGC, this daunting par 5 measuring 450 yards from the back tees can be a risk-reward hole for players of all abilities. Striking a good shot from an intimidating tee box with lateral hazards on both sides of the hole will give the player who is brave at heart the opportunity to reach the green in 2, but water lurks down the left side and in front of the green to penalize a poorly struck go-for-it type second shot. The large green is receptive to a good approach shot, but has subtle mounds that can make any putt a knee knocker. This hole can reward the well-hit shots, but risking taking a big number if you aren't careful in your approach to this exciting hole. Hole number 2, precision wedge play is the key to the second hole at MVGC. This hole can measure from 100 to 130 yards, and a well-struck shot can pay huge dividends for a player that hits it right. Water in front of the tee box and to the right of the hole adds a little suspense to any shot that may leak in that direction. Pick the right club and take dead aim at this pin, and you can be rewarded handsomely. Number 3, this drivable par 4 makes this hole as exciting as any at MVGC. When stretched to its limits, it measures close to 230 yards, but when playing from the middle tee, it just plays over 200 yards. Many veteran players to the hole say it's the easiest par 4 to take a 6 on. Out of bounds on the right, the entire length of the hole will make any player's heart flutter, and 2 small bunkers in front of the green that try to protect this accessible green add risk. But a well-struck tee shot can give you an attempted eagle. Hole number 4, the second and last par 5 on the front 9 poses challenges of its own. Out of bounds down the right side of this hole is in play the entire length of the hole. A well-placed drive will give the long hitter a shot at reaching the green in 2, but that well-placed drive can be easier said than done. Keeping the drive to the right side of the fairway makes the greens more accessible, but also brings out of bounds into play. A solid second shot should make your approach into this massive green easier, but this largest green on the course creates its own challenges. Club selection in your approach shot is going to be the key, because if the pin is on the back of this green, it's on an upper small shelf that makes any approach shot left short a very difficult 2-putt. Hole number 5. What you see is what you get on this par 3. It's a mid-length par 3 that has a tree just short and right of the green. So if you play a draw, you have your work cut out for you. A fairly benign green all in all, but a left back pin position can make this hole as tough as any on the course. Number 6 is the only severe dogleg right hole on the course. It's a drivable par 4, but it takes a favorable wind, favorable tee marker placement, and a lot of guts, as it all carry over out of bounds to complete the shot. There are trees just past the out of bounds to make problems for you as well. With this being the smallest green on the course that is slightly elevated, it requires a precision wedge game. Putting this one is easier than most of the greens at MVGC. Hole number 7. Hole number 7 is a straightforward hole that has a creek that runs along the entire left side. Water behind and to the right of the green comes into play as well. There is room to bail out right from the tee, but trees and mounds can create some rather dicey lies. This green looks fairly simple, but don't be fooled. If the pin is in the front right portion of the green, there is much more slope than you think. Hole number 8 is the second longest par 3 on the course. It's a fairly simple hole with little danger on the green, but a stray tee shot that misses the green will end up on the mounds that surround it. If you do miss the green, let's hope that you don't short side yourself. This hole can be toughened up by some strategic pin placement, and wind is always a factor. Hole number 9 is our signature hole. It's a short par 4 made even shorter as a crow flies with a small dogleg left. You can go for it, but in all intents and purposes, it's an island green. Surrounded by water and bordered by out of bounds, this short hole is a brute. If you are approaching the green and see a red pin, have your A game at the ready. It's the toughest pin position on the course. If you par this hole, you get the same sensation as you would if you birdie any other hole out here. Hole number 10, a short and sweet par 4. You can reach this one from the tee, especially if you have a breeze at your back and have the strength to accomplish the feat. But even if you make the green from the box, bogey is still in play if the pin is on the back of this green, especially back left. This is the second largest green on the course and can invite 3 putts with ease. Hole number 11 is a solid par 4 here at MVGC. It's a slight dogleg left with a ridge that crosses the fairway in the landing area. A wayward shot left will bring a well house into play, so avoiding left is preferred. If you go right, you'll have trees to contend and some mounded rough as well. Some trees protect the green short and left. This is a fairly simple green, but some well-placed pin positions can make scoring a bit tougher. Par is always a good score on 11. Hole number 12 is the longest par 3 on the course. There is out of bounds right, but fear not, there is room to bail out left. However, there will be some trees that will come into play on the left side and one that guards the green. This is a tough green to putt as mounds and slopes abound. 3-putting this green is always a distinct possibility, but a well-struck shot could lead to birdie. Hole number 13 is a fun but fierce par 5. Out of bounds lines the entire right side of this hole, and there's room to bail out left. But once again, trees and mounded rough will put a premium on keeping it in the fairway. Although the fairway is quite generous, it is more difficult to hit than you think. You can get home in 2 on this one, but it takes 2 great shots to do it. Once you're on the green, you still have work to do. There can be some treacherous pin placements on this one to keep you honest. 4 is a great score, but you'll be happy with 5. Hole number 14 is the longest par 4 on the course, measuring 417 yards from the tips. A slight dogleg right can bring some trees that block an approach shot from the left rough into play. Mounded rough and trees on the right side can give you problems as well. This green is receptive to a well-struck long shot, but mounds short right, left, and behind can also create frustrations. It's a fairly straightforward green that putts true, but you need to make sure you pay attention to all the breaks. Hole 15 is a slight dogleg left. As simple as it looks, it's a tough fairway to hit. There's a ridge that crosses the fairway near the landing area, and the rough on the left and right sides of this hole as you approach a green is some of the flattest out here. But don't be fooled. The rough here is lush and thick. Mounds that surround the green will make you take notice as well. Some slopes on the green and some well-placed pins can make this hole tougher than you think. Hole number 16. A local rule on hole 16 prevents you from going at this green on this short dogleg left, so you need to play a strategically placed tee shot into the fairway. Short drives and drives that drift to the right can be killer on this hole as well. Trees will hound you from either of these positions. A left pin can be trouble as the green slopes on the left side and is guarded by a mound short and left of it. Hole 17 is the second most difficult hole on the course. Water sits just off the left fairway the entire length of the hole. The good news is there's plenty of room to bail out to the right, but that shot will make your approach lengthy and brings trees into play. As are most of the greens out here, it is protected by mounds that can create some bad breaks. The green slopes mostly from back to front, so it's kind of an easy read. Par here is something to definitely brag about. On hole 18, you will experience a rarity in golf, finishing with a par 3. It looks easy on the card, but when you pull up to the tee and see the tree that guards the green short and left, your knees may begin to knock. You will have to hit a well-struck shot high or to the right of the tree. If the pin is located on the left side of this relatively easy putting green, you will be glad the 19th hole is the next.